Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. It is getting a little late, but whatever. This is another video of Kokomo, Indiana. I'm currently driving through the southwest side of Kokomo. Now, the houses over here, although they're still very affordable for the most part, and although you can still find some bargains around here, I mean, basically on this side of town, in fact, on this side of town, I would say that the housing prices around here are probably very identical to what they were over on the northeast side of town. I'm gonna try to give you guys another Kokomo video real quick before it gets dark. And chances are pretty high that at some point I'll be over here again in Kokomo to do some more contents for you Kokomo natives out here. Or maybe you ex-Kokomo, or maybe, yeah, for your Kokomo natives, or maybe for those of you that used to live in Kokomo. When I do these videos, I also try to do these videos with some level of respect for those of you that currently live in these cities, or maybe you used to live in these cities. Regardless of whether or rather not you may have liked where you lived. And also regardless of the current condition of the area. Now, one thing I did forget to mention on my earlier Kokomo videos is Kokomo, like many of these other smaller cities here in Indiana, Kokomo also used to be a major industrial city or town. Now, within the last, I would say, 5 or 6 years or so, really I would say within the last 10 years or so, Kokomo has done a fairly decent job at bringing its industrial economy back. As I told you on one of my previous videos, Indiana is the leading state when it comes to the creation of production jobs. So I guess as a result of that, you got cities like this one, Kokomo, Indiana, that they've came back pretty nicely from the olden days of being a production, of being a I would say production, of being an industrial town. That's what I was looking to say, an industrial town. Some of these old industrial towns that for a while went dead, and many people wrote these areas off as they're dead, they're no good, the economy's not ever coming back. These areas one day will turn into a bunch of ghost towns and be the next Detroit or whatnot. There were a bunch of people 10 years or so ago that wrote off these smaller cities here in Indiana as ex-industrial towns to never return back to its more productive days. And I'm happy to say that, cities like this one, Kokomo, Indiana, and larger cities like Fort Wayne, Indiana, have done a fine job at restoring its at restoring the industrial aspect of its economy. Now, and another thing about Kokomo, Indiana, which I will mention on this video is many of these houses around here are not going to come with lots all that big. I mean, every so often you might come across a home around here that might come on a lot that might be close to 2/10 of an acre, but the lot sizes here in Kokomo, for the most part, are going to be anywhere from 3,000 to, I want to say, 5,000 square feet. So the lot sizes here in Kokomo are not going to be all that big. And as I said on my other Kokomo videos, I mean, currently there are a fair amount of homes that are currently up for sale for under $50,000. But like I said before, if you're wanting to purchase a home that's in half decent condition, one that's not going to need too much repairs done to it, you're going to want to spend at least around that $50,000 range for a house. Like, it wouldn't hurt to look at a house that's priced at 60 and then exercising some negotiation skills and talking the seller down to maybe 50. I mean, like, if your goal is to pay $50,000 for a house that's at an asking price of 60 grand, then what you would probably do is you would probably get with your realtor and you would tell your realtor, hey, I want to buy this house. They're asking 60. I only want to pay 50. So what you would want to do is you would want to probably submit an offer for, we'll just say, $40,000 to $45,000. And 9 times out of 10, the seller will probably come back and they'll give you some sort of a counter offer. And when they give you a counter offer, depending on what the counter offer may be, like if they give you a counter offer for, let's say, $55,000, you can counter offer back and say you're willing to pay 50. And like I told you on one of my other videos, to where I was talking about exercising negotiation skills, I mean, sometimes, depending on the circumstance, they might sell you the house for 50. But granted, if the property is a very good property, and there's like a significant, if there's like maybe 2 or 3 people looking at the property, then it's very possible that you could be in a bidding war over this property. Now, unless you really want to buy the property, I personally wouldn't suggest you participating in a bidding war, because if you participate in a bidding war, a property that might be worth, let's say, 65, you might end up paying 70. So me personally, I'm not a fan of a bidding war. My attitude is, I'll just go look at something else. Because sometimes in a bidding war, you know, you might look at a house to where the asking price is 60. The value of the property might be at, let's say, 65. But you might pay 70 because you participated in the bidding war and you wanted to win. So just a little more FYI for how to go about bidding for a home or for a piece of real estate. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Well, you know what, I think I'll keep on driving a little further. Come to think of it. And FYI, I mean, there are other parts of Kokomo to where the houses are a little newer. But, and I will drive through those areas at another time. Now, in those areas, the housing prices right now are going to be a little more expensive. I mean, they're not going to be super expensive, but they're going to be a little more than the houses in these older neighborhoods. But on another time, on another video, I will be driving through that part of Kokomo as well. I just wanted to primarily focus on the older part of Kokomo because older areas like this is where the vast majority of your more affordable housing is going to be located for those of you that are making less than 40 grand a year. And as I told you before, and I will say it again, I am a big fan of older homes. I like how they look. I like how they look. And I just love the fact that, I don't know, I just like how they look, I guess. And plus, they're some of the most sturdiest homes that you can purchase. And as I tell you before, and like I told you before, if I were to buy myself a more modern home, the newest I would go would be an early 1990s. But I'm not gonna lie, I like older homes a lot better. I like how they look. I think older homes have a lot more character than these newer ones that they're throwing up. Not to mention that they're a lot more sturdier. Now, of course, for the down part of an older home, I mean, typically utilities are going to be a little higher because it's an older home, and in many cases, you got higher ceilings, you got bigger windows. And in many of your older homes, your square footage is going to typically be bigger on average compared to later model homes. Yeah, I thought I would just go ahead and drive you guys through the business district of the city of Kokomo, Indiana. Which normally I don't do, and I never done before. But I thought for this video, I'll just go ahead and do something that's a little outside of normal what I do on these kind of videos. And I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right now because we're over a half hour. So everybody have a blessed one, and I will see you guys on the next video.